Okay guys, we got another really great off laner. Legit tank. I would put him in a category as probably really close to Centaur. You don't want to fight against this guy. When I see him picked against me, I know it's gonna be really bad. Not only like in a defensive way, his ult is just crazy value. You combine that with Blink and this whole like big range AoE. If you can't see him, fight is about to begin. You're always waiting where his tide's gonna come out of the woods. Do I need to press my Black King preemptively, or am I gonna get blasted and they're just gonna kill us when he ravages? And like, it's a huge question mark. It's a huge surprise factor having this guy in your team, and he knows what he's doing. So yeah, let's start with him. You can go with Arcane Boots. Boots considered. I feel like this is a pretty spammable spell. I will spam it. It's low cooldown, it's nice AoE, it's great damage, it's also damage reduction. So if you don't want to get something like Arcane Boots, I think you'll need Soul Ring then. Soul Ring is nice anyway. Swamp Up can give you 3 of these, or like 1 ult. I think you'll be needing 1 of those because your mana regeneration is really low. You'll be needing something to be able to do your stuff. You need to be casting Gush as well in fights, so it's always gonna be Gush and Anchor Smash teamed with ult. So like as you can see, it's a lot of mana. This is level 1, it's 150 already. It goes to 325 later on. Yeah, this also goes more expensive. Soul Ring or Arcane Boots. I just think it's. I think you need to get 1 of those. But yeah, let's go to the second item. Second item is Blink. And like I said, the whole surprise factor, they're not gonna know where you're gonna come from. Are you behind this tree, behind that tree? Do I need to press Black King? Is Tide's gonna blink in and destroy us all with the ult? It can also just finish off anybody that's low health anyways. You would blink in, you would ult, do the Gush and the Kraken Shell. Not the Kraken Shell, the Anchor Smash. So you can just finish off any kind of wounded heroes that are trying to get away. Blink also upgrades into Overwhelming Blink. You'll be getting Heart definitely as Tides anyway, so that bonus strength will go towards AoE damage of Overwhelming Blink. So great synergy there, great synergy with Kraken Shell. Yeah. After the Blink and Boots, whatever you decide, Hood is a really optional item for this guy. If there's a high damage on their side, this is great value. If there's not a really big spell threat for you, usually you can just skip this. It's not worth the money. Just go towards something else. You'll be needing to tank for your team. So this time it's kind of more of physical damage. So build something that blocks physical damage, right? This is spell damage. So maybe you went this, maybe you didn't. What I like to go if I don't go Hood right away, I like getting Scepter. Having this spell just be like AoE like this, I don't have to see anybody. That's first of all. For the Gush, without the Scepter, you gotta see your target, and it's only a single target. It's kind of like Bristleback's Scepter upgrade for the Goose Low. It's much easier just to walk in and spam it's even the same key, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, or is it like something else? But yeah, like let's say you don't press it. Let's say you don't see anybody. Maybe there's some really low health guy that just went uphill. You're like here. Maybe you don't have a blink. Maybe you don't have blink, but you should have blink. But let's say blink is a cooldown. Whatever happens, you can just do your AoE like this and kill him, or just slow him down anyways. You don't have to see them. You don't have to see anybody. It just works. It works great with ult. I also have Shiva ready there that you'll be gonna getting later on. Shiva effect AoE coupled with Ravage, coupled with this. It's a huge damage even before the fight starts properly with yourself. And yeah, I just like getting Scepter. It's also stats. You need mana anyways. Even agility is great for armor. All benefits for you. So yeah, this also goes with the talent. So let's say you get Scepter. So I don't forget about this. The Gush damage goes with the Scepter amazingly. So this doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just gonna dump 120 damage into a single target. Now when you take this talent, it feels so much more justified because all of this damage goes into AoE. It's not a single target anymore, right? So Scepter just goes great with all of that and with the whole like AoE team. So you got your, so let's say you got your Scepter. Let's say Hood wasn't needed. There's Boots, there's Scepter, there's Blink. At one point, I think you should really get Heart. It goes great with the whole. He's just that type of 4th laner that just you just go maybe a couple of utility, maybe 1 or 2 utility items, and they just stack all the health on them. This is gonna save you from. This can save you like, let's say the threshold. The threshold is almost reached. Whatever. Let's say it's 500. Somebody is like attacking you, melee damage, spell damage, whatever. It goes close to 500. Let's say there's a Shadow Shaman blinking on you from, I don't know, somewhere. He immediately shackles you. Even shackle damage can just trip this and give you a dispel, and you're just free to go instantly. Or maybe somebody attacks you under shackle and you just get released. The spell is just that great. Plus the huge damage block, of course. So it happened a lot of times to me where I would get hexed or shackled and I would immediately get released. Because yeah, I'm kind of shackled, disabled, but if anybody attacks me and this damage goes high enough, or it was already high before, they just risk me getting immediately released and I'm free to go. And then I can do some stuff and maybe escape with the blink if I need, or just do the ult. Maybe I just delay me enough, do the ult and turn the fight to them. Maybe my team just comes from this side, let's say. So on the lane also, I always take 2 levels of Kraken Shell on the lane because it blocks 30 damage, and this is the thing about the 30 damage. It blocks 30 damage from all sources separately. So this is amazing when you're on the lane and you're last hitting and also harassing enemy heroes. There's like 5 mobs, right, on the lane, or 4 mobs. If all of them hit you at the same time, the damage does not go over 30 because it's separate for each one of them, and they deal like 20 something. So all of them basically deal 0 damage to you. This is why I always get level 2 of this. You can even stay on level 1 if you want, but I just get level 2, and I do not care if I pull any aggro trying to harass anybody because you take 0 damage because it's from each target. It has to be over 30. So it's not total damage. So this is pretty amazing effect, and then you have the threshold, of course, that gives you a strong dispel. And you can decide on this. Again, it depends on the lane. Maybe you just want to put more points into Gush and try to get him killed, or maybe this for easier farming, for harass. You'll be needing mana for any of these if you want to spam. So that's why I said like Soul Ring or Arcane Boots might be an early option. But yeah. Now, after some like basic that you will need, I would always go for Heart, but it's not needed, of course, always. There's Shiva. Shiva though, the problem with Shiva is it's armor, it's not health. So Shiva might just be better when there's no high, maybe there's some high crits there, maybe there's Phantom. It can save you, but it's just always to have that extra health, because health saves you from damage and from spells. Armor only saves you from clear physical damage, so I would always prefer Heart first, but you can go Shiva as well. I do not like Assault. I just like Shiva more, because again, you'll be needing that mana and it just goes very well with the team. If you get a Scepter, you buff the Scepter, Gush is buffed, you got ult. Not even gonna mention, if you have enough money or you just like fixed to getting like a refresher orb, which is one of the later game items that you get anyways with heroes like this or Enigma or anybody like that. If you have a refresher, then it becomes really interesting, right? With Shiva and all of these. So imagine just opening the fight where enemy doesn't really want to press their Black Kings. They kind of wait for the fight to start. Maybe they don't expect you. You tell your team to hold. You blink in first, do the Ravage, do the Gush, do the Shiva, reload, do everything again, I mean, once they realize that they're caught in all of this, you can just end the game at that point, kill them all, and that's what Tides do. Even if you fail with everything, you can just fail. It doesn't matter. There's always gonna be somebody hit by this, somebody hit by this, by this. You'll be doing more than enough. You'll also just be there as a tank, as a body to tank all the damage. So yeah, you cannot go wrong with any of this. Crimson Guard is also a really nice item. Vanguard helps you a lot. Maybe there's just a game where you go Crimson and Hood. Hood can also go into Shroud, Eternal Shroud or Pipe, maybe for your team, oriented towards your team. Also, like really good items. Crimson Guard gives protection to everybody, but again, it's physical damage. So this is much better when it's more enemy team is more physical oriented, and I would get this into Pipe when it's more spell oriented. But yeah, those are really great options as well if you need them. Pretty much I think that's it. Tides is just like a really solid tank. Couple of items there, you're good to go. You're good to tank. Kraken Shell will save you. It's a pretty much inbuilt Vanguard already, so you can focus on something else. Gives you Dispel when the Threshold is released. Threshold gets like on level 10 you can already reduce it, so this pops even more often. So yeah, like it's a really well-rounded offlaner. So yeah, let's take a look at the talents. So first one, I always take Kraken Shell damage threshold, of course. Second one, if you're going, I mean, you should take this anyways. Anchor Smash damage reduction is really RNG, and it's really a question if you'll get any value. It's damage reduction, it's not bonus damage on you or armor reduction, it's just enemy damage reduction. So yeah, this is already great. It becomes even more great with the Scepter. I always get the gush damage into AoE, right? Third one I guess depends. Third one, it's not really a huge one at all, actually. But yeah, if you want to tank even more, you can go even more Kraken Shell damage blocks, so now it becomes 100 almost, it's 90. That's amazing. Gush armor is also amazing. It goes minus 10 armor. If there's a target that you want to eliminate quickly, maybe, that doesn't have a lot of health, you can go that. If you want to tank more, you can go this. Third one is really not that big of a deal at all. Whatever you choose is fine. Last one is pretty interesting. 1 second Ravage stun becomes 2 seconds with Refresher. That's a pretty big value. Although if they kinda expect you and they're not always pushing forward and they kinda wait for the tides to show up, left one might just be better then, because maybe you just didn't go Shiva, let's say, went for Assault. Maybe that's Hyperstone. You kinda attacking a bit faster. This gets procced, plus you pressing it gets it procced. So it's kind of a choice you have to make. I usually get the Ravage stun because I usually try to like appear where they don't expect me. If they're pushing like this, let's say this is our side or our base. If they're pushing like this and they put their offlaner in front and then they just wait with the low health one hiding, I usually just try to leave my base or anywhere on the terrain and just kind of flank them. Just go alone. You're probably gonna die that way much more often than anyways, but you'll get much more value out of your spells and your team will eventually win. So if they can't really see you or it's not warded or whatever, just try to flank them with your ult. Try to get as much as close as possible, and even when you blink in and they kinda see you and they press Black Kings, yeah, you're probably not gonna be able to hit the most important targets with this, but they'll be wasting their Black King bar very early on an off laner. And then there's your whole team just waiting for that to expire, and you can tank long enough, hopefully. That's why I always get hard if that happens, so you can still tank and give your team time. So it's a win-win anyways. Yeah, you might not just hit everybody, but they'll be using everything on you, their cooldowns, their Black Kings, and then your team can just jump behind you and do stuff. And of course you don't have to care if you have a Refresher. You can just refresh and then do it again. Yeah, so that's it for the tides. Shard is pretty great also, but I would wait with the shard. How can I wait with the shard? You need some basic stuff first, anyways. At least get something with the boots, get blink, get some bigger item, maybe scepter, maybe heart, maybe Shiva, and then I would think about shard. But first I would get something that makes me a off laner. If you're playing off laner, first you need to be a good off laner and for the team, and then worry about your like personal, you know, damage and stuff. You need to tank. That's the first thing that you gotta do as off laner. You gotta be a good tank, and then worry about like damage, personal damage, because you're Tides, right? Tides is a defensive off laner. Defensive, I mean, defensive in a way that you're supposed to tank much more than make damage much more. So yeah, in that sense. And that's Tides. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I missed anything. There's an option to get Crest. Also, Crest goes well with Gush. You can rush Crest, get like how is it, 12 armor reduction. Like that's gonna put any hero in the game to 0, even mid to later game. So there's that option. There's also Solar Crest. But yeah, that's it for the guys, for the tides, and I'll see you guys in the next one.